Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sam Sarasvati Namaha. Om Sri Lalita Tripurasundari Namaha. Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalasphatikakritim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe Kasha Pushpa Pratikasham Agnimaruta Sambhavam Mitravarunayoh Putra Kumbhayone Namustute Sri Vidyam Jagadam Dhatrim Sargasthitilayeshwarim Namami Lalitam Nityam Mahatripurasundarim Akhanda Satchidananda Jnana Satta Swarupini Sri Chakranayika Sakshat Pratibhatu Sadashiva. Hey Om. So with Jagadamba's grace, we completed the Pradhama Adhyaya of Sri Lalita Tripurasundari, Sri Lalita Sahasranama Stotra Padham. So in this first chapter, Bhagavan Sri Hayagriva is explaining the importance of this Lalita Sahasranama. Why Lalita Sahasranama is important? What is the importance of this? And indicates the different little bit of results also. In the end of this stotra, you will see the third chapter where Bhalashruti is there. If we chant, then what is the bhalam? What is the result we can gain by chanting this Lalita Sahasranama is in detail explained in the last Bhalashruti portion. But we saw that there are three things happens. One is bhukti, another is siddhi, third is mukti. We will be blessed by whatever, if there is our desires are dharmic. Suppose our desires are dharmic, Jagadamba will see that our dharmic desires are fulfilled. Second, siddhi. Different types of siddhis are also we will be able to gain. Third is mukti, liberation from samsara. But then in detail it is there in the last portion, that also we'll study some time. Now we enter into the upasana of Lalita Sahasranama. Now when we say Lalita Sahasranama upasana, vidhivat upasana, you remember Bhagavan Hayagriva used a word before, Sangha Japaha. So what do you mean by Sangha Japaha? That time I explained the japa along with anga. What are the angas of japa? Nyasa. So we can do japa just like that. There's no problem. But then there is a way of doing japa, a shastric way of doing japa, that is known as Sangha Japa. Now Bhagavan is showing us the Nyasa. So I explained about the word Nyasa. Nyasa word, Asa is the dhatu, Ni is a upasarga, a prefix. Prefix is Ni. And Asa is a dhatu, is a root in Sanskrit. Asyati, to throw. Balaha pashanam asyati. The boy is throwing a stone. Asyati, to throw. That's the dhatu. But in Sanskrit, upasargena dhatvartaha balad anyatra niyate. Prahara, hara, samhara, vihara, pariharavate. In Sanskrit, when you add prefix, sometimes the meaning changes. For example, harati, harati to take away. But if you add a prefix praharati to beat, viharati to play, samharati to destroy, praharahar, aharati to eat. You see, So the harati is the dhatu, but you add prefixes, the meaning change. Like that. So asyati to throw. But if you add ni upasarga in front of that, a prefix ni, then it becomes nyasyati, nyasaha means to keep. Keeping is the meaning. Aham pustakam nyasami. I keep the book. Nyasati. Nyasya. Okay. Nyasati, it becomes when you make it into a word, it becomes nyasa. So keeping. So nyasa means to keep, to invoke. Invoke what? Invoke the power of Jagadamba, of power of the Devata. Whom we are chanting a mantra, the power of Devata is invoked within us. That process of invoking the power of Jagadamba or any Devata is known as Nyasaha. So, all the powerful mantras, they always say that first tune yourself with the mantra. Then that mantra will have its own special effect. So, in order to tune ourselves, generally, there are actually, in Tantra, there are more and more nyasas, but in general practice, we do three kinds of nyasa. First one is known as Rishyadi nyasa. Means what? Invoking or tuning with the Rishi. Rishi means the seer of the mantra. One who has seen, to whom this mantra was revealed, to whom this mantra manifested, that person or persons are known as Rishi. Om asya Sri Gayatri Mahamandrasya Vishwamitra Rishihi Nichrat Gayatri Chandaha Savita Devata. Now, so for each and every mantra, there is a Rishi who's seen it, and the rhythm in which that mantra is revealed, and the Devata who's pertaining, who is the ruling of that mantra, to about whom that mantra is about. So this is a tradition. So why? Because when we tune our mind with the person to whom this mantra was revealed, think about, we and they are in the same phase. And when, see, like, of course, we all know that we used to have radios and transmitter, transistor, etc. So we used to tune the transistor. Remember, radio, and then we can get different stations. So the frequency has to be, selected. So that is known as chandas. This mantra in which this mantra is revealed, and that field is already existing in the universe. There is a shabda, there is a frequency which is already existing in this universe. If we can tune ourselves with that frequency, the mantra becomes very powerful. We are chanting with the same frequency in which that mantra was revealed. That is known as chandas. And of course, without meditating, without knowing on whom this mantra is all about, there is what japa we do. So that's why Devata. So three mean known as so we invoke the Rishi on our head, the chandas in between the nose and the lip, and the Devata in our heart. Now in Tantrika mantras, there are three more things. Generally in the Vaidika mantra, Rishi, Chandas and Devata. But in Tantrika mantra, three more things are there. So Bija, Shakti and Kilaka. Bija means the seed of the mantra. See, if you see the Bija of a great banyan tree, that's just a small one. You can't even see that. So small. But in that, the entire banyan tree is there. Like that, the bija is the mantra, the seed in which the entire mantra's power is concentrated. That is known as bijam. Then Shakti, the power. How the mantra will, what kind of Shakti, what kind of power this mantra will create. That is known as Shakti. Then Bhagavan Sri Parameshwara has locked all the mantras. It's nailed the power of the mantras. So it's Kilaka means a nail. Kilak. I think in Hindi also they call it keel, no? So the keel, Kilaka, Swarte cup. In Sanskrit, you add ka to the same meaning. Balaha, balakaha. Pustam, pustakam. Like that, Kila, Kilaka. Same. Bhagavan Sri Parameshwara has nailed all the mantras so that nobody will be able to misuse the power of those mantras. So if you have to use the mantra, you have to remove that kilaka. Remove the nail. That is known as Utkilanam is the word, but we generally say kilakam. So these three are special for the Tantrika mantras. Or Pauranika mantras also you see these three. So that's all these together. Rishi, Chandas, Devata, then Bija, Shakti and Kilaka. These six together is known as Rishi Adi Nyasa. Rishi Adi Nyasa. Rishi Adi Nyasa. Now comes the second. Now Karanyasaha. See, what do you mean by Kara? Kara means hands. Kara doesn't mean hands. Kara means karoti iti karaha. That's the meaning of kara. Kara means karoti, dugrinni karane, karoti, with which we perform. So that is kara. Of course, the hands are the main equipments for us to perform. That's why this equipment is known as karaha. So when you are doing the nyasa on kara, we are not only doing nyasa on these physical hands, we are actually invoking the power of the mantra into all our actions. Not only on the hands is like a equipment through which we invoke the power into all kinds of actions we perform. That is known as Kara Nyasaha. Invoking the power of goddess or god or devata into each and every yadyat karma karomi tattadagilam shambho tavaradhanam. All our actions are performed as a worship of. That is the real Karanyasa. Only doing like this and then we do that, we think that we are the karta bhokta, then that is. So actual Karanyasa is samarpanam. No? So surrendering our kartrutva buddhi is the Karanyasa. Now comes Anganyasa. Anganyasa means invoking the devata in our body. In different parts of our body, when we invoke the power of devata and surrender our body, not only the stula, but stula, sukshma, karana, sharira. We all live in three layers. We all, there are three, there's a Trikuda. We call Jagadamba Tripureshwari, Tripura. What is Tripura? Tripura is not that state where is there in, eastern. Tripuram means three puras, the three cities. Which are the three cities? Jagrat city, Swapna city and Sushupti city. Not Shobha city. Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti. These are the three cities. These are the Tripura. And Jagadamba is Tripura Ambika. She is the mother. She is the creator, she is the sustainer, she is the dissolver of Tripura. That's why she is known as Tripuramba, Tripurasundari. Okay, so what is Anganyasa? Anganyasa is dissolving our Sharira, Stula Sukshma Karana Sharira into Jagadamba. When we offer our Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva and the Sharira to the Devata, then we enter into Devatvam. We become one with our Ishta Devata. So that is the entire idea behind Nyasa. So, in detailed Tantra, then there are more. Bahirnyasa, Anganyasa, Andarnyasa, Bahirnyasa, etc. are there. But at least that's all not, that's for specific sadhana. But this much we do as a part of our sadhana. So we start with Nyasa. Now there are a lot of doubts about this Nyasa. Okay? Generally, they say that until we are initiated, we should not do the Nyasa. We can chant Lalita Sahasranama, no problem. We can just start with Dhyanam and continue with the Sahasranama. That much is enough until we are initiated into this marga. Okay? So as I was telling, this is nothing, so it's not that until we do this, Bhagavad Mantra Shakti will, nothing like that. Most important thing is Shakti. Most important thing is our Shraddha. Okay? So until we are initiated, we can actually skip the entire Nyasa. This all depends upon you. Okay? So you are, sometimes, because in the society generally, this Nyasa, etc. are not promoted because of a reason. Because, see, we are like, 0-volt bulb, and then we are trying to, put 100 watts into that. So it's better, so we do not know, what are where we are, etc. That's why. So that's why in our tradition, until we are initiated into the mantra, we do not do the Nyasas. That is our parampara. But then it is there in the book. Okay. You can just read it. Okay. So before you start you can just read the Nyasas. But then what is Nyasa actually? Nyasa is actually invoking the Shaktis with mudra at the different places. Okay. So I will show this, but my request is, you just only read this. Then why are you showing? Because there are people who knows this, and I want this. No, this is something which should be there in the future also. So with a special request that until we are initiated, just only read this. Om Lalita Sahasranama Stotra Mahamandasya Vachinyadi Vakdevadarishaya Anushtuk Chandaha. No problem. That much only we have to do. But then for the record, who knows tomorrow who will be there, who will not be there. So for the record, I want to show the Nyasa Paddhati also. Okay. So one day you will be blessed with a guru, and the guru will initiate you into Panchadashi. And then, because guru have many other jobs also, not like us. So then you are initiated. Now you want to do the Nyasa, etc. So you can come back to the video and see how we sit there, and then we can follow. Okay. Now first let us just do the Nyasa Japa. Okay. Just that's enough until we are initiated into Panchadashi. Lalita Sahasranama should be chanted with Nyasa when we are initiated into Panchadashi. Without initiation into Panchadashi, we should just read this. No need to do the Nyasam. Am I clear? Thank you. Please repeat. Asya Lalita Sahasranama Stotramala Mantrasya Vashinyadi Vagdevata Rishayah Anushtup Chandah Sri Lalita Parameshwari Devata Srimad Vagbhavakuteti Bijam Madhyakuteti Shakti Shakti Kuteti Kilakam Sri Lalita Tripurasundari Prasada Siddhi Dwara Chintita Bhalavaptyarthe Jape Home Pujayam Archanayam Viniyogaha Aim Angushtabhyam Namaha Klim Tarjanibhyam Namaha Sauh Madhyamabhyam Namaha Aim Anamikabhyam Namaha Klim Kanishtikabhyam Namaha Sauh Karatalakaraprishtabhyam Namaha Aim Hridayaya Namaha Klim Shirase Swaha Sauh Shikhayai Vashate Aim Kavachaya Hum Klim Netratrayaya Vaushat Sauh Astraya Bhat Bhuvassuvaromiti Dikbandhaha. So this is the Nyasa. Okay. So until we get Diksha, we just chant this. But for the record, so the Rishis are invoked on our head. So this is known as Mriga Mudra. So whoever studied a little bit of dance, we know. This is known as Mriga Mudra. Mriga also represents our mind because it is never steady. So all jumps here and there. So the Mriga Mudra represents the deer and also our mind. So we invoke the Rishi on our head with Mriga Mudra. Okay, like this. Then Nyasa Mudra is like this. The three fingers together, and we touch in between the nose and the lips. Because if you touch the lips, then hand will become Ashuddha. So, in between the nose and the lips is the sthana of Chandas. And then this is known as Hridaya Mudra. Hridaya Mudra is on our Hridaya, spiritual Hridaya. Okay? So this thing which is on our left side is Bahir Hridaya. Whenever we say Aham Aham, we touch here. That is our spiritual Hridaya. That's where we invoke the Devata. And with the Mriga Mudra, we touch our genitals part for Bija and our navel for Shakti and for Kilaka, both knees. Okay, now there little bit differences are there in different what you call Sampradaya, little difference is there. What I can say is Vaib Sampradaya. So the Bija is on the genitals and in Mriga Mudra only, all the three, and the Shakti is on our navel and both knees are where we touch for the Kilaka. Okay, so now you don't have to do this, just watch once. Om Sri Lalita Sahasranama Stotramala Mahamandrasya Vashinyadi Vagdevatarshayah Anushtup Chandah Sri Lalita Parameshwari Devata Srimad Vagbhava Kudedi Bijam Madhya Kudedi Shakti Shakti Kudedi Kilakam Sri Lalita Tripurasundari Prasada Siddhidwara Chintita Bhala Vaptyarthe Jape Viniyoga. Now, actually after you are initiated into Panchadashi, instead of when they say Srimad Vagbhava Kudedi Bijam, we chant the first line of Panchadashi and then touch. That's what I was trying to tell you. Until we are initiated into Panchadashi, we cannot use this. So, although it is written here Srimad Vagbhava Kuda, because that mantra should not be written. That's why it is written Srimad Vagbhava Kudedi Bijam. But actually when you do the invocation, then you remember that first line of the Panchadashi and touch the Bijasthana, and Shakti is the second line, and then we touch the navel and chant the third pada of Panchadashi and touch the both knees. So that's what I was trying to tell you that. So we don't have to do this. We can just read this before if you feel, I also want to do. Okay, no problem. But just chant this mantra. Don't do the nyasa. Okay. Should we read once more or are you comfortable? Comfortable. Okay. So, now Karanyasa. Karanyasa is we are invoking the aksharas in our kara, in our fingers, starting from the thumb, from the base to the end. It's known as Karanyasa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then entire kara. Now this side and both sides and our palms, that is Karanyasa. Okay, we'll see. Aim Angushtabhyam Namaha Klim Tarjanibhyam Namaha Sauhu Madhyamabhyam Namaha Aim Anamikabhyam Namaha Klim Kanishtikabhyam Namaha Sauhu Karatala Karaprishtabhyam Namaha. Now, this is known as Hridaya Mudra. We have already seen Hridaya Mudra. Aim Hridayaya Namaha. Mriga Mudra. Klim Shirase Swaha. Thumbs up. That is the Shikha Mudra. Down, okay, that's all. Sauhu Shikhaye Vashate. Kavacha Mudra, you don't have to do, okay? I'm just showing you. So, the Kavacha Mudra is, we touch the ring fingers base with the thumb, like this. And then cross ourselves like a kavacha, like an armor. Okay? So, the right hand should come out, left hand should. This is known as Kavacha Mudra. You can learn this so that when you are initiated, then you can use it. So, that is known as Kavacha Mudra. Aim Kavachaya Hum. Now, Netratraya. So, some mantra will have Netradvaya. Some mantra will Netratraya. Netratraya, 3 eyes. So, this is the 3 eyes. Okay? Klim Netratrayaya Vaushate. Now, hit like this, and then, and this is known as Astra Mudra. Astra is arrows, protecting all the 8 sides. Known as Astra Mudra. Okay? Sauhu Astraya Bhate. Now from east onwards, generally when we are supposed to sit on facing east doing all this japa, from east onwards, Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Om, Iti, Dikbandhaha, to all the 8 sides and to up and down. This is known as Astra Mudra. Okay? Once more. I am Angusht, you chant, okay? I am Angushtabhyam, I will chant, please repeat. I am Angushtabhyam Namaha. Klim Tarjanibhyam Namaha. Sau Madhyamabhyam Namaha. I am Anamikabhyam Namaha. Klim Tarjanibhyam Namaha. Sauhu Karatalakara Prishtabhyam Namaha. Aim Hridayaya Namaha. Klim Shirase Swaha. Sauhu Shikhaye Vashate. Aim Kavachaya Hum. Klim Netratrayaya Vaushate. Sauhu Astraya Bhate. Bhurбhuvas Suvarom iti Dikbandha. Good. So now we learn Nyasa also. Now comes the Dhyanam. Okay. So we are now ready for chanting Lalita Sahasranama. So when you are doing it at home, as I said, you can actually start from Dhyana. The Nyasa is not necessary now, but then you feel that, no, I want to do it, you can chant them. Okay? And when your Guru gives you Panchadashi, then you can actually apply also. Now sit together straight. Either we interlock our fingers and keep on our lap, or there is another mudra known as Yoni mudra. That is known as Ardha Yoni mudra. Okay? Like this, we keep on our lap. Okay? So one is just interlock the fingers and keep on our lap, or just do like this and keep on the lap. Or there is a third mudra known as Kurma mudra. Right hand is like this, left hand is like this, and just, keep, touch these two into these two fingers, and then keep. This is known as Kurma. Kurma is a tortoise. Kurma. Okay? So this is Kurma mudra. Place it near your heart. It's very difficult. No problem. Just do it like this. Keep like, Anjali mudra near our heart. Okay? It doesn't matter. But see, when I am telling, I should tell everything. I should not hide something and tell something. That's why. So, in Tantric tradition, we use all these mudras for jap, dhyana. One is just interlock your fingers and keep. Or this is very easy for all of us can do this. This Ardhayoni mudra, or this is known as Kurma mudra. Kurma is a tortoise. We keep it like this. Okay, these are the three mudras we use. Or fourth mudra is just Anjali mudra. Okay, so we can use all these four mudras for dhyana. Now, let us start the dhyana. We sit straight. When we are practicing, we close our eyes. You keep our hand in any of this mudra, and then we close our eyes. Our backside, our backbone is straight. Backbone, neck and head is in one line. The shoulders are relaxed. Eyes are closed. There is a subtle smile in our lips. We feel the oneness with the Lord, Bhagavan. We are meditating on Bhagavan. As we are doing in the morning, visualize a beautiful red lotus in your heart center. See the form of Sri Jagadamba, whichever is Devata you are worshipping. Here Jagadamba Lalita Tripurasundari. See the form of Jagadamba in your heart. So before you start to actually practice this, keep a beautiful photo or of Jagadamba in front of you. Look at Jagadamba's form for some time. And then you close your eyes, it is easy for us to see that form in our heart. Some of us are very imaginative. For those imaginative people, it is easy, but then some other imaginations also comes up. So better, before we start that's why Bhagavan, Mother is telling you do Chakraraja, Archanam, etc. Because then mind is already tuned. So if you are not doing all that, just look at Jagadamba's beautiful photo for some time, and then when we close our eyes, we can see the form of Jagadamba in our heart center. That will be very helpful. Okay. Now please sit straight, close your eyes, keep your hands in one of the mudra. I know that all of you know this Dhyanam very well, but I will chant now. Please repeat. Sindhuraruna vigraham Trinayanam Manikya Maulispurat Taranayaka Shekharam Smitamukhim Abhinavakshoruham Panibhyam Alipurnaratna Chashakam Raktolpalam Bibhratim Saumyam Ratnaghatastha Raktacharanam Dhyayed Paramambikam Arunam Karunatarangitakshim Dhrutapashankusha Pushpabana Chapam Animadibhiravrutam Mayukhehi Ahamityeva Vibhavaye Bhavani Dhyayed Atmasanastam Vikasitavadanam Padmapatrayatakshim Hemabham Pitavastram Kairakalithalasat Hemapadmam Varangim Sarvalankara-yuktam Satatam abhayadam Bhaktanamram Bhavanim Sri Vidya Shandamurtim Sakala Suranutam Sarva Sambat Pradatrim Sakunguma Vilepanam Alika Chumbikasturikam Samandahasitekshanam Sasarachapapashankusham Asheshajanamohinim Arunamalya-bhushambaram Japa-kusuma-bhasuram Japa-vidho Smared Ambikam. So that is the beautiful meditation, meditative verses. Now let us see the meaning. The first shloka, we'll chant together, all of you know, I know. We'll chant just together. Sindhuraruna Vigraham Trinayanam. That one pass, one by one we'll go. Dhyayet. It's an imperative mood. Lot. Dhyayet. Ling, vidhiling. So vidhiling means dhyayet, please meditate. Instruction. Meditate. Bhavan dhyayet. Aap dhyan kijiye. Please meditate. Dhyayet. That's the kriya. Kam dhyayet. Whom should we meditate? Whom should we meditate? Ambikam dhyayet. Please meditate on Jagadambika. Bhavan Ambikam dhyayet. Sentence is complete. Karta, karma, kriya. Subject, object, verb. Sentence is complete. Bhavan or bhavati ambikam dhyayet. Please meditate on Ambika. All other words which are there, they are all nama visheshana, adjectives to Ambika. So they are telling that Ambikam dhyayet. Katham dhyayet? How we should meditate upon Jagadamba? How should we imagine? How should we feel? How should we picturize Jagadamba? That is said in the entire shloka. So, Ambikam, Bhavan Ambikam Dhyaye. You meditate upon Jagadamba. How? How to? See, this is no picturizing. Like with words, they are painting Jagadamba. Sindhuraruna Vigraham. So, first thing what we, many times, the first thing what we notice in a person is their color. Black man, white man, yellow man, brown man. And this is a red man. Not red man, red woman. You, red woman. Oh, Amma was a red Indian or what? Red woman. Okay. Sindhura Aruna Vigraha. Vigraha means Sharira. This Vigraha is not idol. Okay. Many places we use the Vigraha, Vigraha of a temple. But here actually Vigraha means Sharira, the body. Vigraham. Whose body is, how is the body? Aruna Vigraha. The body of Jagadamba is reddish. No, actually crimson. Red, not red. Have you seen the flower of pomegranate? So that is the color of Jagadamba's body. Not like, like blood red or anything. Not pomegranate color, the flower of pomegranate. That color is known as Arunam. So generally we translate it into red, but there is another word for red, Raktam. So not Rakta, this is Arunam. Sindhuraruna Vigraham, whose Sharira is of the color of Aruna, reddish hue, like the Sindhura flower. No, there is a flower, the color of the flower, a flower known as Sindhura flower. In olden days in villages we used to have that. You can open it and then you can put on your finger, etc. The finger will become red and all that. So that flower, it will look like this, no? There will be some hair kind of a thing, etc., etc. Kungumam. So that is known as Sindhura Aruna. The Sindhura is not the Sindhura what we are putting, okay? So this is Sindhura, is a flower of a reddish hue. Sindhura Aruna Vigraham, So, because the Sindura's color is very, very reddish. This is not the, Jagadamba's color is not like a blood red. This is very beautiful, attractive color. So, if you have not seen the flower of pomegranate, Google it, how it looks, so that we can meditate Jagadamba also of that color. Because it's a very different color. It is not like Japa Kusuma. No, it is, but actually it's very beautiful. So that's why Sindura Aruna Vigraham, whose body is so bright, so beautiful with that crimson color. Aruna Vigraham, Trinayanam, there are 3 eyes, like Shiva's, the 2 eyes, and there is a 3rd eye on her nidila, on her forehead, the 3rd eye is there. Trinayanam, Manikya Maulis Puratara Nayaka Segaram. One word. Manikya Mauli Spurat Taranayaka Shekhara. Shikhara means the top of the head. On the top of Jagadamba's crown, there is something very special. What is that? Taranayaka. The Lord of Tara, the Lord of stars. Who is that? Shashi. This is a crescent moon on the crown of Jagadamba. On top of the crown of Jagadamba, there is a crescent moon. That is known as Taranayaka Shekhara. On the tip of that thing, there is crescent moon. Tip of what? Manikya Mauli. So, mother is wearing a crown made up of manikya, of rubies and navaratnas. There is a crown Jagadamba is wearing, and the entire crown is bedecked with different jewels, prominently the rubies, manikya. And so think about that color combination. Reddish is the color, and top there is the crescent moon, which is of the off-white. See how the combinations, see, this is not a Saundarya. Right combinations of colors. So, Jagadamba is wearing a beautiful crown bedecked with the different jewels like manikya, and top there is the crescent moon. Manikya Mauli. Mauli, crown here, okay? Mauli Spurat, shining forth. What is that shining forth on that crown? Taranayaka Shekhara. The top of that Manikya Mauli, there is Taranayaka, the god of Tara, the god of the stars. That is crescent moon, not the full one, okay? The crescent moon. Panjamit Chandraha. Manikya Maulis Puratara Nayaka Shekharam. Then Smitamukhi. Most beautiful thing. Her mukha is smitam. Her entire face is lit up with a beautiful smile. Now later we will show the smile is not only on lips, but the real smile is in the eyes. When we go to flight, etc., there is no smile on the eyes, only here that is not. Jagadamba is Smitamukhi, not only the lips, but the entire face is lit up with smile. Smitamukhi. The entire face is as though smiling. How can the face smile? Of course, the smiles are on the lip, but not only in the lips, on the eyes. Smitamukhi. Apina Vakshoruham. Vakshoruha. Vakshoruha. Ruhati means to grow. Vakshoruha means that which grows on the chest. That is the breast of mother. Apina. Full breast. Jagadamba's form, we meditate upon. Now, face is meditated as Bhavakuda is meditated. Now, Madhyamakuta, the full breast of Jagadamba. Full breasted. Apina Vakshoruham. Very beautiful, round, full breast of Jagadamba. Now, Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam Raktotpalam Bibhratim. In this form, Sri Jagadamba is holding a panapatra, a glass or a what you call, a vessel filled with madhu and a beautiful red lotus. Panibhyam. In this, generally, Lalita Tripurasundari has 4 hands. But here, Jagadamba is as Rajarajeshwari, one who is ready to bless the entire universe. So that's why there's only 2 hands in this Dhyanam. So, how is Jagadamba? Panibhyam, in both hands. In the right hand, there is a panapatra. There is a, what you call that in English? You used to drink and all that, no? A glass, wine glass. It's not wine glass, okay? It's a beautiful patra. In one patra, Alipurna Ratna Chashakam. Chashakam means actually a glass. Not a glass, but a patra by which they used to consume the liquor and alcohol, etc. That is. Yeah, a cup, kind of a chashakam. But chashaka is actually means a glass, okay? A kind of glass. So, how is that? Alipurna Ratna Chashakam. Now, please pay some attention here. Sanskrit is a very tricky language. It can have different meanings, and all can be right, all can be wrong. Now, there is a chashaka in her hand. There is a patra, a vessel in her hand. How is that chashaka? Alipurna Ratna Chashaka. Alipurna Ratna Chashaka means a patra where, there are different gems, different jewels are attached to that patra. One meaning. Second meaning is Alipurna Ratna Chashaka. Ratna means jewels. Alipurna Ratnali. Ali means a group of different types of Ratnas are there on this patra. This is one meaning. Second meaning is, see, Jagadamba is holding this patra. It's not an empty one. There is Amrita inside. Amritasava is there in her hand. Because of the Amritasava's smell, fragrance, lot of Ali. Ali means the bumblebees. They come and they are surrounding that, chashaka. She's holding this and lot of bumblebees are there around. Who are these bumblebees? All of us. Those people who are desirous of Amritanubhuti. Those jivas are those alis and they are surrounding that cup of Amritasava. Alipurna Ratna Chashaka. One meaning is a Ratna Chashaka embedded with different jewels. Ali also means group of. Or, little more poetic beauty is a chashaka which is filled with the Amritasava and many Ali. Ali, the bumblebees are surrounding it, bringa. Because of its fragrance, many jivas. Who are these Ali? That's not just Alis, they are great rishis, great jivas who are attracted towards the eternal life. What is there in her hand is the Amrita Anubhuti which gives people the eternal life. So, that's why they are all attracted. Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam, that is the Amrita Anubhuti. Okay? The other hand is known as Keli Padma. So, in one hand there is Amrita Anubhuti, another hand there is a Padma, there is a lotus. What lotus? Rakta Utpalam. A red lotus. Okay? We can just meditate upon like that. In one hand, there's a cup filled with amrita, which attracts the bumblebees. The other hand, there is a beautiful red lotus. This represents the eternal life, moksha. This represents different bhoga. So, bhukti, mukti pradayini. You want mukti? Take this. You want bhukti? Take this. So, that is there on her both hands. Okay. Panibhyam alipurna datna chashakam raktotpalam bibhratim. And how is she? Saumyam. She is the embodiment of, embodiment of sweetness. She's so cool. She's so saumya. The word saumya comes from two roots. One suma, another is soma. Suma, what is the meaning of suma? Flower. Saumyam means that so tender, so fragrant, so beautiful like a flower. Or soma, soma, the moon. So saumya means who is so cool and beautiful and attractive like the moon. We can take both. Okay, you take both, no problem. So saumya, one who is so, see, this is the beauty of Sanskrit. Please study Sanskrit. Because otherwise you can read all these translations, etc., but it will not touch our heart. But the moment you know that directly, that experience is something which cannot be compared to any translation. No translation can actually translate the heart of a language. You want to read Shakespeare, read in English. If you translate Shakespeare into Malayalam or Hindi or Kannada, and then we want to read everything in English, all our scriptures, everything in English, you see. So anyhow, so Saumya, one who is so soft, one who is so attractive, one who is so bright, one who is so cool like a flower or a moon. Saumyam Ratnaghatastha Rakta Charanam. She has placed her feet on a Ratna Ghata. Ratna Ghata means a pot with Ratna, with jewels. Ratna Ghadastha Rakta Charanam. So, when we meditate, she is seated and her feet is touching a beautiful pot studded with Ratna, and inside also Ratnas are there. Inside also jewels are there. What is that? That is the Prapancha. This entire universe is known as Ratna Ghata. The universe is that which gives us everything. All the jewels are deep within the universe. And Sri Jagadamba's pada is resting on this universe. Ratna Ghadastha Rakta Charanam. Rakta Charanam, the charana, the feet, which are so beautiful, so attractive, and it's so soft. So, this is a reddish hue, reddish color. Rakta Charanam. Dhyayet Param Ambikam. You meditate upon Parambika, the greatest Ambika. Ambika mother. Parambika, Sakshal, the greatest mother of this universe. Please meditate Jagadamba in this way. Sindhuraruna Vigraham Trinayanam. I'll chant, you remember the words, okay? Trinayanam Manikya Maulis Purattara Nayaka Sekharam Smita Mukhim Apina Vakshoruham Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam Raktotpalam Bibhratim Saumyam Ratna Ghatastha Rakta Charanam Dhyayet Param Ambika. Meditate upon that Parambika. Can you see her in your heart? Yes, very good. Now, another mantra, another kind of meditation, little different. Jagadamba only, differently. Arunam Karunatarangitakshim Dhrutapashankusha Pushpa Bana Chapam Animadibhiravrutam Mayughaihi Ahamityeva Vibhavaye Bhavani Vibhavaye. Aham Vibhavaye. This is Karta, the subject is I. Aham Vibhavaye. I meditate. Aham Vibhavaye. Subject is Aham, I. Vibhavaye, I meditate. That is the verb. Whom? Whom do you meditate? Bhavani. I meditate on Bhavani. As what? Aham iti eva. Aham Bhavani aham iti eva vibhavaye. I meditate upon Jagadamba as my own self. Not as a different being sitting somewhere. Aham Bhavani aham iti eva. Who is this Bhavani? Me, myself. Iti. Thus, vibhavaye. I meditate. Ahamityeva Bhavani vibhavaye. I meditate upon Jagadamba as my own true self. Okay. But then, you, so ugly face and so... No. Not as this physical form, my true form. Achha, how is your true form? Like hers. What is her true form? Arunam. Again, one who is of the color of the Dadimi Kusuma Prabham. Like the Dadimi Kusuma. Like the flower of the pomegranate. Arunam, of that reddish, of that crimson color. Arunam, that is the next word. Karuna Tarangitakshim. When we look at a person, what strikes us is that person's eyes. You look at Jagadamba, how is her eyes? Akshi, eyes. How is her eyes? Tarangitakshim. As though there are waves. There are waves in that eyes. Long, beautiful eyes. Meenakshim. Vishalakshim. So, Velakshim. Velangani. Actually, that was Devi. So, Vel, whose eyes were like the veil of... So, Vela. So, Akshi, very... like a lotus petal, long. How is it? As though there are waves. Waves of what? Karuna Taranga. The waves of compassion. Arunam Karuna Tarankitakshim, whose eyes are filled with the waves of compassion. Why these waves of compassion? Because compassion is not a stagnant thing. Compassion is something which is moving. Compassion is something which actually, the compassion, I say I have a lot of compassion for you, but that I don't do anything to you, that is not compassion. Jagadamba's compassion is not a stagnant thing, that is something which is moving, which is actually manifesting. That's why Jagadamba's eyes are so so beautiful, filled with the waves of compassion. Arunam Karunatarankitakshim. Okay. Now, how are her hands? Dhrita, Pasha, Ankusha, Pushpabana, Hasta, Chapa. Right hand top, there is Pasha. Yeah. Left hand top, there is Pasha. Right hand top, there is Ankusha. Okay. So there is a noose in her left hand top, and there is a gourd in the Ankusha in her right hand top. Dhrita, Pasha, Ankusha. Now down, right hand down, there is Pushpa Bana. Pancha Pushpa. There are 5 flowers arranged in her right hand down. Pushpa Bana Chapam. On her left hand down, there is a chapa, there is a bow made up of ikshu, of the sugar cane. So sugar cane bow in her left down, Pasha on her left up, Ankusha on her right up, and Panchapushpa on her right down. So, what are these things, etc.? Now, in Lalita Sahasranama itself will explain what is this Pasha, Ankusha, etc., etc. Dhrita Pasha, Ankusha, Pushpa, Bana, Chapam, Animadibhi Avrutam Mayukaihi. Animadi Mayukaihi Avrutam. The one who is surrounded with divine light. Mayuka means rays. Ray. Surya Mayuka. Mayuka, the rays. Jagadamba is surrounded by a divine light. What are those divine light? What is that? That is Animadi Shakti. Anima, Laghima, Mahima, Girima, Ishitva, Vashitva, Prapti, Prakamya. These are the Ashta Siddhis. Jagadamba is surrounded by the Ashta Siddhis. Anima Adi Mayukhaihi Avrutam. One who is surrounded by these powers like Animadi, that Bhavani, that Jagadamba, so compassionate and beautiful and powerful. 3 things. There can be people who are very compassionate, but there is no power with them. Most of us are so compassionate, but can't do anything because there is no power. There are people, who are powerful, but there is no compassion. They can do anything, but no compassion. There are people who are powerful and compassionate, but they cannot express it. Jagadamba is not like that. She is Karunatarangidaakshi. She is Animadiravritha. So she is so compassionate, she is so powerful, she is so expressive. See, there is no point telling that I have a lot of love and compassion. Until it is expressed, until it is coming into practice, what is the point? Jagadamba, she is filled with compassion, she has the power to express, she has the power to execute, and she has the power, she is to express, the ability to express. That's why she is our hope. Is there hope in life? Yes. Who? Jagadamba. Why? Because she is, my God is so great and mighty. No, my God is very great and mighty, and not only that, he is compassionate and he is capable. She is capable and she is, ready to express it. So, we meditate how ahamiti eva. She is my true nature. It's not somebody who is sitting in somewhere. She is here. She is my true nature. Sat. In this way, I meditate. Harunam karunatarangidakshem dhridapashankushapushpabanachapam animadibhiravritam mayughe ahamityeva vibhavaye bhavani. Now there are more dhyana that will continue in the next class. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.